whatever you do, back Britain First every step of the way, because we are true nationalists and we'll never let your children down.
Tommy Robinson!
And I'm sure that word of that videos will get back to him in prison. It will give him at least a very small drop of comfort in the grinding boredom and isolation of his prison cell. Another man who was sent to prison was this man on the right of the screen, Peter Lynch. Every prison in this country is dominated by radical Islamist prison gangs. I know, I've been attacked in my prison cell by one of them. I sustained injuries. And yet, despite CCTV evidence, the police refuse to press charges, as they always do. Peter Lynch was put in prison for screaming the word scum at police. Now you can see the way the police have allowed them scruffy, disgusting, unwashed, stinking communists over there to block Nuneaton train station today to try and diminish our turnout. That came down from the highest levels of Warwickshire Police. They wanted it to kick off. They want there to be incidents because they want to paint us as the bad guys. But we got through that mob and we come here without any trouble whatsoever. We conducted ourselves as true British ladies and gentlemen. And I say thank you to everyone for that. But this man, Peter Lynch, was thrown in prison for shouting at police. And he was under such psychological pressure that he committed suicide. And he's no longer with us. That's why he's up on the screen. On the left of the screen, we have a man called Wayne O'Rourke from Lincoln. All he did was post on social media things that were hidden from us after Southport and things that are now public knowledge. I'm glad to say that Britain First launched a petition for Wayne that's had 30,000 signatures. We're going to be delivering that to Downing Street very shortly. We also sent 3,000 complaint emails to the prison service, and we've also got his family some brilliant legal representation to try and get Wayne out on tag. Because Britain First, we're more than just a political party, we are a family. We look out for each other. That's what patriotism and nationalism is all about. I'm sure you agree. If we don't look out for each other, if we don't look after each other, then we're no better than that rabble over there. Now we've got a special guest here today. Wayne O'Rourke's partner has come to join us. If you're here, can you make your way to the front, please? Can we have a big round of applause? She's here somewhere. No, I think she's escaped. Okay, maybe we'll bring her on later for an update. Right, we're going to have another short to hold a day of action for Britain First in the city of Manchester. And we were in a place called St Anne's Square. Does anyone know it? Yeah. And in the distance, on the horizon, I saw a group approaching us wearing high-vis jackets. I was thinking, what the hell is this going on? It turned out that, we remember the patriotic yellow vests from years ago? So it turns out it was the yellow vests. And they bumped into us and we spoke to them. And then this very, very short lady came up to me and started speaking to me. And I invited her to a meeting in Harpurhey in North Manchester that we were holding a bit later in the day. And she came along and she listened to my speech, and the rest is history. She is now the highest scoring nationalist election candidate in this country. In successive elections, parliamentary by-elections, local council elections, she has defeated the Conservatives, she's defeated the Liberal Democrats, the Greens, she's beaten Reform, she's beaten UKIP, she's beaten absolutely bloody everyone. She's our highest scoring election candidate, and she has contributed so enormously to our movement that the governing body of our party appointed her as my co-leader. And I'm pretty sure you agree she is a Britain First dynamo of the highest order. So please, big round of applause for our co-leader of Britain First, Ashley Simon.
Like that. Hi, thank you all for attending today's activity. It's so good to see a sea of patriotic flags, English flags, Union Jacks, Welsh flags and Scottish flags. It's brilliant to see. Patriotism and nationalism is what I live for. This is my sole purpose in life, is to make Britain a nationalist, patriotic country again for our children. And I will fight tooth and nail for my people and my children. You're all here today in support of remigration. Remigration is the only solution we have to saving our great nation. For the past 60 years, we have been flooded, absolutely flooded, with ungrateful foreigners that hate our people, they hate our country, and they hate our history. And this is why we will deport millions upon millions of them back to where they came from, because Britain belongs to the British. Today, Britain faces the greatest threat to our survival, now more than ever in our history. In the past, battles to defend our nation were faced on foreign battlefields. Now we are being replaced by violent foreign invaders right on our doorsteps. They live in our towns, they live in our cities, they're murdering our children and they're raping our girls. Are we just going to stand back and allow that to happen? Are we cowards or are we warriors? We're warriors! The indigenous people are becoming a despised minority in their own lands. Never in the history of our people has that been allowed to happen. We have fought invader after invader and we have won every single time. We will win this battle as well, mark my words. What is happening in Great Britain today is absolutely criminal. We are being colonised by the uncivilised. We are getting the dregs of the third world and we're being told to put up and shut up. What do I say to that? Over my dead body will I shut up. This is my country. These people that come here though, they don't come here and simply replace us quietly. They tarnish our history. They tell us that we've got a history of being oppressors, that we've abused a third of the world with the British Empire. We brought civilization to a third of the world. We brought democracy, we brought civilization, we brought education and the rule of law. We gave the world what it has today, and how do they repay us? By replacing us and making us a marginalised minority. And we will not stand for that, because when we say we're Britain first, we mean it. We're not treacherous politicians. We won't lie to you. We're mothers, fathers, aunties and uncles. We care about our people because we're the ordinary working class, and we will take this country back no matter what it takes, no matter what it takes. 1,000 years ago, Alfred the Great, his son Edward the Elder and his grandson Athelstan fought for one kingdom, united under one God, our Christian God. They fought, blood was shed, millions died for this Christian England, for this Christian Britain. British greatness will be erased when the British people are erased. You think of everything we've given to the world, from democracy to technology, railways, sewage systems, everything. If you take away British people, there is no British greatness. You look at the richest countries of Africa, they were once British colonies. They didn't get there on their own. That was the British that gave them what they have today. Without our people, the West ceases to exist. They will not exist without our excellence. But there's not much thanks for that, is there? And this is why we're all here today, because in just 10 years from now, think about how old you're going to be in 10 years, right? In 10 years, white British children will become the minority in this country. The minority. You see how poorly they're treated now. You see how they're raped. You see how they're attacked. You see how they're stabbed. Imagine when they're the minority and they can't fight back. Is that a future you're willing to allow your children to suffer? Because I know I'm not. It's better to fight on your feet, right, than die on your knees. Britain is not a nation of cowards. We are a nation of warriors, and we will protect our children's future no matter what it takes, because this is our country, and we will give them the future that they deserve, the future that we were given, that our grandparents fought and died for. They fought war after war for us. We're going to do exactly the same for our children, exactly the same. In just 20 years though, just 20 years, the whole of Britain, the British people, the white British people, will become an entire minority. Can you imagine the state of this country when that's the true fact? When we're pushed out to the sides, we'll be pushed out to the countryside. You look at cities now, Leicester, Birmingham, Manchester, London, we're already a minority there, and they're crime-ridden slums. They look like an African or a Middle Eastern slum, and that's because white people are the minority there. Crime, rape and murder will be an everyday occurrence in every town and city in this country. And who do you think the victims of this will be? Do you think it will be the minorities that will be the majority? Do you think they're going to be the victims? Or do you think it's going to be the 10 to 20 English people that are left in those towns? They're going to be the victims of this crime, because the entire world has been taught now to hate the British, and they hate us out of envy. They hate us because we've got a 1,000-year history of being the best of the best. We have been the best, most recognisable country this world has ever seen, and that is why Britain First exists. Britain First doesn't exist because we need another political party, because we don't. How many do we have? But Britain First exists to get rid of the traitorous politicians, to rid our country of the scum that sells us down the river. That's why we exist. When we return our country to greatness, we're happy to walk away, because we are not politicians, we're anti-politicians. When we give your children a future, we will walk away with a smile on our faces knowing our job is done, because that's what we fight for, your children and our children. They are the future of this country, and that's why I will fight tooth and nail for my people. And when I say my people, I'm very clear on who I'm talking about, the true British people. I am not a coward. I will say what I need to say. And this isn't because we've got hatred of other people. This is because we love our own. We love our own with every fibre of our being, and that's why we will fight for them. People are screaming out now, though, for a radical alternative. There's some false hope in reform. Do you know, some people are thinking, oh, reform's the solution. But Nigel Farage has said himself that he will not entertain the idea of mass deportations. If you close the borders tomorrow, we've still got the rape gangs, we've still got the knife crime epidemic, we've still got people fighting for their own religions in this country that isn't the religion of our people. So what do we do with them? Do we just live harmoniously with them because Nigel Farage thinks we can't mass deport people? America right now is enacting mass deportations, and that's the only way you will save your country. Remigration or death, that's the solution. So I ask you all today, I'm preaching to the converted really, but I ask you all today, whatever you do, go away from today and preach remigration to your neighbours, to your families, to your friends. Preach it to them. Tell them who the real radical alternative in this country. It's not the wet liberals that reform, it's Britain First. We are that alternative.
Your children and your grandchildren are relying on you to fight for their future. Don't show them a coward, show them a backbone, show them that you will do anything it takes for our people, for their future. To be blunt with everyone, I've already been blunt, haven't I? But to be blunt with everyone, we've got 10 years at most. 10 years at most to make a difference, to reclaim what has always been ours. So please, whatever you do, back Britain First every step of the way, because we are true nationalists and we'll never let your children down. Rule Britannia!